Welcome to another fun, loving episode of Spiritually Healing Roundtable. Tonight, I am joined by our fantastic producers, Sharon and Morgan. The Morgan is joining us. We also have Jenny, Carlene, Kaylee, and Shirley. I'm Andrea from Sweet Release Healing. And away we go. Tonight's topic, deities. We did have a special request from Tate to pull the goddesses, she says. Pull the goddesses. So, Jenny says they've been talking to her a lot all day long. Jenny, you can start us off then, baby.
At one point, I was going to send a text and be like, what exactly are we talking about? Because they're like, I need to know, because how can I give you notes if I don't know what we're talking about? It's like, breathe. It's fine. It'll be fine.
Mine had me brush up, and like I was on YouTube all day just watching different. I watched Celtic, Norse, Greek, Egyptian, like just went down the rabbit hole.
Something that was interesting, I was actually in a Zoom meeting Sunday night for another Discord that I'm part of, and he was talking about but as we do tangents and started talking about the differences, and he was talking about one religion, sort of like in the Indian Peninsular area, where there are as many gods as there are people, as many deities as there are people, because every time you think, you create. Every time you put your avatar on top of one, you sort of create a new layer or a new version of them. And so how I view Mars and how he interacts with me is completely different than how he interacts with anybody else. Probably not a lot different, he said, but it's that filter is unique. So how I experience him is not wrong, and neither is your experience. It's just that avatar we layer on top of, which alters them just a tiny little bit. And that stuck with me like all week.
That is a really interesting concept, that how everyone views them adds another layer to the being of who they are. But that rings true. Like,
so think about, it's the same thing from taking the Greek gods and turning them Roman. That's exactly what happened. We just have an entire pantheon out of it.
That's valid. That is super valid. So for me, so you know how we just had channeling last week, was it? Yeah, on the 20th. So once a month I do channeling for an hour. It takes a lot out of me, but it's fucking awesome. It really is absolutely amazing, and I love doing it. This time, the first beings to come through just addressed themselves as the goddesses, and they felt big. They felt so beautiful, so big, so loving, but that energy was a lot. Like it crept up into like my shoulders and the back of my neck and like right up into my ears, almost like I was being like held, like, okay, this is what we're doing. With them coming up, I felt like I was lulled to sleep in the background. And now whenever goddesses come up, because like I work with Aphrodite for self-love, I work with Hera and Artemis to own my own power. I work with Freya for the spicy time, as well as Lilith for the same full package stuff, right? For me, like Hecate doesn't come up very often, which is interesting since I have really stepped into my witchcraft, so I'm going to have to do that as well. But the part that I'm paying the most attention to and how they come up all hold that feeling now of like, not like a bad clamp on the back of the neck, but like a firm hold. Anyone else feel like that kind of stuff? Or am I just fucking odd?
I get that big bubbling up, that up and out and space. So it's not the masculine of like energy going this way. It's my internal fills to the brim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that. So my main goddess that I like tune into is Selene. she kind of just fell in my lap in 2020. I started seeing all this information about her, and there's really not that much information. So looking back, that's kind of wild as to how much was getting thrown my way. Because when I actively look for it, there's not a ton out there. Um, but I get that big, but it, like you said, Jenny, it comes from inside out. And then it's also very nurturing, kind of like, almost motherly feeling she gives off, but it's like a stern also.
Do you remember those 3D holographic cards in the like late 90s? You'd get them a lot at McDonald's, and you'd move them, there's the bumps on them, and you move them, and you see two different things. That's one of the, especially with goddesses, that's the energy that I usually get, is that if you hold me just right, it's kind and loving and nurturing. And if you hold me this way, I'm still kind, but it's powerful and, no bullshit. It's that base image is still layered in there, but it flows back and forth a little bit. And so you get that dichotomy, that flow of fluidity of feminine power.
We have a good question on the chat. How do you begin to understand who to work with? For me, I felt called and pulled to certain groups first. Like for me, it was very Greek. It was like Greek goddesses are where I want to be. Like that's how I felt first. And then as I kind of moved further into it, it really narrowed down to like some were bright and sparkly and some were just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. And some were like, absolutely not. Like, nah.
Yeah.
I feel rude saying it, but it's true.
For me, I didn't even realize at first. It was mostly in high school. I was really interested in Greek mythology and then got out of that until I was, got a really big wake up call, I guess, for a specific deity. And it kind of went from there. Like I remember when I was in high school, I had this book. I borrowed this book from a class, and I had it for years, and I forgot about it completely until years and years later. I see it stored away somewhere, and before that, like this, for a while, I felt like there was this one deity that was really trying, like, to get my attention, but I was still like, maybe not, maybe, I don't know. I find this book out of nowhere. I open it. It goes straight to that deity's name. And that's kind of how that showed up. And throughout, it's more like I stumbled upon like these deities that want to work with these specific aspects that I need to work on. They kind of just show themselves and they're like, listen, you got to work on this and I'm here to help you and you get your shit together. So it can go any way. You can either just like go on with your life and then find out that you're being, contacted by someone, or if you have interest, research them. And at some point, if they notice you take interest in them, they will give you signs.
I completely agree with Shirley. She's mostly interested in Celtic, just meditate and put myself out there. But also, like Shirley's saying, look for the signs. So if you're seeing like white owls, which Celtic goddess is associated with white owls? For me, it's always ravens.
And if you Google and something else comes up, follow that lead.
Always follow the breadcrumbs.
Yep.
Google used to be a really strong source of divination for me, and then they changed the algorithm and I can't find jack shit. But use Google to as one of your divination tools. Absolutely.
Yeah, Celine,
and it's that following curiosity.
I had gotten all those bits of information for Celine, and then recently, like just within the last 10 months, Apollo is the one. And he came up right up in my face. He was throwing signs, and then when I wasn't getting them, like all of a sudden it clicked one morning and I was like, is that you? And he was like, freaking finally.
I have similar experience with Apollo actually. I got signs and signs, and then one day he just like physically came up to me. Like I saw him physically as I was laying in bed. I was like, "What was that?" I thought I was dreaming, and but also Artemis, and apparently Artemis was trying to pull him back because he was too much when he showed himself. And he's like, "No, no, I'm good." And she was like, "No, it's too much. You can't handle it." And he's like, "No, no, no, we're good." So yeah.
That's hilarious. And that tracks, right? Because she's like, could we just dial it down to a 4? And he's like, no, a 400 is completely normal. What's wrong with you? Andrea, what are your thoughts on them being intimidating? They feel like I have respect, right? Like I understand that the mythology and the history is that they could smoke me on sight, but also they just feel like talking to my 16-year-old nephew. Um,
I'm a weirdo though, so can we just take everything I say with a grain of salt? Big
okay.
one, like a mountain of salt, honestly. Because again, I'm a fucking weirdo. I'm not intimidated by shit. I would much rather work with demons and Hades and whoever the fuck wants to come up and work for me and work with me. I'm not afraid of fucking shit in spirit at all. So when they come up, I have felt intimidated by spirit twice, maybe. There was the one time where I was home alone with two little babies and they were swirling around because I needed the lesson in how to protect myself and what to do. And I got that lesson. And when I turned on the light and they just dissipated in light, and I was pissed after that. I don't get afraid, I get mad. I'm a problem. We need to understand that. Am I like the light in the darkness? Absolutely. Am I the dark side of the light side? Yes, 100%. But I am a problem. And I'm fully aware of this. Poor Tate, ask her. She will tell you how many times something I have said to her has just taken her pieces and gone. And then she's like, now I'm going to build myself back up because you just gave me the truth. And I didn't really. I love her though. Like, I have all the time in the world for her. But like, if I don't like to really work with the male deities. I just don't feel a super connection unless it's Hades. Now, that doesn't mean that every once in a while I don't channel a Loki. I don't feel like somebody coming up. I don't even go with like the angels, especially archangels. I used to, but I just don't feel that way anymore. What I'm going for now is the powerhouse women. And I'm like, yes. Because femininity on this planet is having a huge swap with masculinity. It's huge. I channeled it today in a session with a client. I think it was like a 30-minute session this morning, which, by the way, I had 5 of them back to back. And I was like, food, food, feed me food now. It was like, I need to eat all of it, everything, all the time. But anyhow, they were showing like masculinity here in humanity and how femininity was making like this big crashing wave to go on top of it. And they said that's how it is femininity is supposed to lead, and then the masculinity was supposed to go after it and follow along, because you need the creativity, you need the creationism and the spiritual seat before you know what you need protection and security with and from, which is fine. It's not necessarily gender roles either, and that kind of gets discombobulated quite a bit, which is understandable. But anyhow, when Hades came up and was like, hey, you want to work together on your fire magic? And Lilith is in the corner going, I was like, fucking cool. The times I've ever been intimidated, like I said, was that one time when the nasties were swirling around and then they were dissipated by the air, the fucking light. And I was like, that's stupid. Like, you seemed really scary. And then I saw you through light and I'm like, oh, no, really not. And then the other time was, I think Sharon and I were having a conversation about it. And I feel like this was last year because it was in my old office that was still in my house. And I had just put the office together. Like, I had just finished the wood wall behind me. And not this one, but you know what I mean. And I remember thinking, like, I'm slightly intimidated. And Sharon being like, you're never intimidated. And I was like, I know. But it felt like a group that knew me so well that they could like see through me. And that's what got me intimidated. It wasn't the fact that they were spirit. I never felt like they could hurt me or crush me or anything like that. Never felt that way at all. Because I'm like, you fucking can't touch me. I'm a human. Boo boo. I'm fucking childish. I mean, great question. Absolutely. But I've never felt intimidated by it other than those 2 times. I'm like, nah, cool. I'm like, what do we, again, I'm a fucking goober. I'm a
Were you
goofball.
just about to say, what do we have to lose? Was that phrase about to come out of your mouth?
More or less, yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Well, I mean, like, what?
But
What are they
in
gonna do?
all honesty, like, really? So they decide they don't like you and they don't want to work with you. Okay.
That's
There's another one.
exactly like, oh no, you have to go because you don't like my attitude. How will I ever survive? My ex-husband did the same shit. You got nothing on me.
Get in line. I've got the t-shirt. I use it to wash the dog pee off the floor. I don't know what you want from me, but that ain't it.
For fucking real. That's all I'm saying. So like when they go in and out, I just honor their path. Like they don't want to work with me anymore. I don't need them anymore. Whatever the answer is, cool.
Because it's also mutual, exactly like you said. Like there will be some that come up that, ooh, you're not my jam, and maybe you're not my jam right now. Maybe that's a lesson I'm not ready to bite off. Thank you, I appreciate you. Bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What else are you gonna do? Like fight him? Oh, sorry, Kaylee.
So I was gonna say, I'm kind of the opposite of y'all. I haven't actually worked with the deity.
No wonder you were so quiet.
Okay, that kind of fools me because one of the first couple podcast episodes, I think it was the first one actually, I remember making the comment to Sterling being like, you were very much channeling Freya that day. Like, you very much gave off Freya vibes that day.
It makes whole sense. But I've also never actually, like, reached out to see. Well, I did. I lied. I did one time, and it was one of our exercises. And we were supposed to, like, go and speak with a deity. Like, grab our guides and be like, all right, extra manpower, because sometimes they can be intimidating. And the one that I chose was Hell to speak with.
Good choice.
And
Yeah, that's cool.
that experience was crazy to me because everything that I've ever heard about Hell is that she was scary and she's half dead and she lived in the underworld and fucked people over, and that's not even the case. That's just how they treated her because she was different. But she genuinely cared about the well-being of the souls that passed through until reincarnation. Like, she genuinely gave a shit, and she eventually just gave up trying to, like, all right, I guess I'm a fucking scary monster then.
Why fight the tide?
Right.
They demonize. Well, we know how that happens in history.
They did the same thing to Lilith. They demonized her. For what? Because she didn't want to be ruled by men? Oh no, poor her, had her own mind. Serious?
So then I have a question, because that seems to be the theme with death gods, though, is they very easily get demonized. Look at Hades.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one that mainly respected everybody and, like, gave a shit about humanity, and then he's the one that everybody's like, oh, he's evil.
It's
like,
because people are afraid of death, not the person who ushers them into the afterlife.
So they gotta make it scary.
And he's not even the god of death. He's just the bureaucracy in the Roz for Monsters Incorporated. That's how I view Hades, with love. Like, all he needs are the stacks of paper. Where's the puce one? That's all I need. The god of death is over there doing his things. He's just the RA.
Maintaining
the
order.
dorm. That's it. That's all he's doing.
Are you guys seeing these chat comments? Oh my god, I just had a fucking revelation about holy shit, bury the lead. Way to go, Antoinette. Call someone a villain. Why should they not act like one, right, Rhiannon? I mean, my ex-husband called me a villain, and I was like, bet. Go ahead. And oh my God, Jenny, I love that. People are afraid of what they can't control.
Yep.
It's the
This
same
is
story
true.
with Medusa as well.
Mm.
How she was basically vilified, and now we're just starting to see her side of the story. We're starting to accept her side of the story.
I know that this is a squirrel moment, but do you think that maybe starseeds are not called to deity work unless they've kind of had it thrown in their face? Because I'm kind of wondering about this. I didn't give a shit about deity work until I was in college and learned about them, and then I thought those are kind of cool. But I never, and I still don't to this day, specifically work. I just kind of every once in a while when I need something, which is terrible. I know I get in trouble.
That would make so much sense though, because I've like Shirley, like back in high school and stuff, I was interested in learning more details about like the Greek pantheon specifically, but never enough to be like, oh, this is it. These are my people. Like, it wasn't until 2020 I got one thrown in my face, and then recently another one, and that's about it. And then even then, I'm like, it's not full on worship. It's just like, hey, you're my buddy.
Did we see what Jenny just put in the chat? Why would you? You're our equals. Oh, that gave me
That's
like
very
chill.
interesting.
I got all the feelings. That one, right, Shirley? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
because the funny thing is, when you guys were talking about how you get these sensations and all that with like when you come upon deities, like these feelings you get, I'm like, I don't get that. Is it because I'm not empathic enough? Or like I was asking, and they're like, you're used to this. You're like your soul. You're used to us already. Like you've been with us, so you don't feel it because
Carlene's having a moment. There we go.
I am. No, because I think it was this morning. I forget what me and my guides were talking about, but they said the word goddess in referring to me. And I was like, are we sure about that? Like, that's giving my ego a nice trip right now. And they were like, well, why not? And they were like, do you not think that you could have been? And I was like, maybe.
Sharon, do you remember when there was a live with Andrea and you had this question about goddesses, and there was a song that popped into my head about goddesses, and I felt like it was talking about us, like we're the goddesses. It popped into my head too.
There was a class, people.
Oh, I will. I don't know. Do I bring it up? Do I just put it up to the mic?
Sure, why not? I just
Okay,
heard
let me
that.
find it.
You are the goddesses because you are. I just heard that. Because you are. Like we're stupid too. Like because you.
And that's how it was for me. And I was like, what are we sure about that?
It's funny because they're answering it. They're like, absolutely sure. Why would we not be? Like,
Okay.
like we're stupid. I mean, I'm okay with that. So Tate said the same thing. Well, why wouldn't it be that way? And Flower Moon is saying creatives.
You know, it feels the same. Like as humanity, we get obsessed with our genealogy and we want to go dig through all the records and we want to visit the places. So it kind of feels like that introduction of, because everybody's got a Greek god phase. And it is one of my favorite things. It is universal. We all get into Egyptian history, and it's fantastic. And it's like we all find that thread that pulls us into it. So having that obsessive moment, that's what you want to call it, hyperfixation, whatever, is like discovering that you're related to George IV.
I have a theory.
We need to add that to the bingo card. Kaylee has a theory.
Also, the forehead grab.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought about it a lot, like, because I was obsessed with like really weird things in history. the things that we are obsessed with in history or that we find fascinating or that we gravitate towards, is that not just like a remembrance of when we were there in a past?
Yeah.
I've had the same thought.
Who we
And then it makes me wonder.
With us.
It makes me wonder how many times we've, like, how many times have we come across remnants of ourselves and just not even recognized it? That gives me heebie-jeebies sometimes.
Or the times that we like see a picture of a place or hear certain music or feel something or smell something and we get sad, like homesick.
Yeah.
Like a nostalgic
There's no
feeling.
reason because we know we've never been there. That's an entirely new smell to us.
Mm-hmm.
But we get nostalgic for that. It happens with Scottish castles for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, same here. Hey, Shirley, you can't play the song, but you can tell us what the song is because I just realized we got in trouble not long ago on YouTube for infringement because
Copyright.
I was playing music in the background.
Okay.
I was playing Fleetwood Mac.
I will
Hello.
share it to the Discord podcast.
Okay, so she's going
for
to put
those
it
who
in the
want
Discord of
to-
her podcast.
Yes, it's
What
an
is the name
original
of the
song. It's an original song. It's not popular or it hasn't been like copyright or anything. But let's see.
Not yet, at least. Out to get popular, isn't it? Brielle. You guys are going to love Brielle, by the way. We had a session the other day and I really like her. I love how I'm just like sidebar. Get again, scroll moment. I love how I'm just attracting all these fucking people. And I'm like, oh, look, you guys are going to like them. And then they fit right in. And it's like, join the podcast. Come on into Discord. Let's be part of the community. And I do feel like I'm collecting people this way, but not in a serial killer way.
No purple Kool-Aid?
Not today. Maybe red.
Red. Spencer?
Thank you for the follow, Holistic.
I think it would be like Spencer and me. Because we both grew up. Well, I tried to inadvertently join a cult.
Morgan. Shut up, Morgan.
I was like, I'm not curious. And then I was like, wait. This is.
I remember that story.
Hold on, what?
Funny. That was an absolute girl
Encourage
moment.
Morgan, Sharon. Do not encourage Morgan. No. No. Bad Sharon.
I went for a car dealership. That's about as cultish as you can get without the purple Nikes.
For fucking real.
I have a question, though, pertaining to deities. So, there's like, at this point in humanity, we have hundreds and thousands of deities that all do different kinds of things. And for
But there's
me, it kind of like shifts. Like I've picked some out that like this kind of it resonates to me in a because it is like a strength that I want or something that I envision in myself or like for instance one of my favorite Egyptian deities is Thoth.
Ooh.
Like
Love him.
he's always been one of my favorites. And then Fenrir.
Mm-hmm.
See, because people are like, "Whoa, fuck Fenrir," and I'm like, but did he ask to be that way?
Nope.
Like, it doesn't. It's kind of another thing. Like, hell, it's Fenrir. Like, he brings about Ragnarok because you guys fucked him over. Like you
poke the bear, you're gonna get bit.
right.
Also,
like he was literally existing.
Shirley, what's the name of the song? We have people going, what is the name of the song?
It
It
has no name because it's very it's not even a finished song. It's just something that came up on the person's like head and she just sang it. So I'm gonna try to find. I mean, I can post the link in the TikTok as well.
She's going to
Can
put
I?
it in Discord. So if you're not on our Discord, sorry.
Yes, it's
You
on
should get
the
on it.
Discord.
Discord is readily available through my website. If you go to sweetreleasehealing.com and go down to the bottom, it says Everybody Needs Community, and the link is right there. How do you spell Fenrir? Is it Fenrir? Lynn wants to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's that or Fenris.
It's okay. So it's that or Fenris. You got it.
But I've always felt connected to, like, for instance, the first time that Hell was always kind of interesting to me. And then that's why I chose her. Like, to speak with her in that exercise and to find out, like, are you as actually as evil as but like I see qualities of myself in these deities. Like Thoth is like knowledge and writing and history, and Fenrir is incredible strength. So, and then just not being told what the fuck to do.
You know, I'm going to agree with you on this one, and I'm glad you brought this up because my squirrel moments have squirrel moments, so I definitely needed the orientation. I like Nyx a lot. I'm pulled to Nyx, and I've never actually sat and had a conversation with her, but she's like, even as I say that, she's like, it's cool, bestie. Like, I really love Nyx, and every time she comes up, like, my TikTok algorithm is definitely like the dude who's talking about like some ancient goddess and how she was revered and this is how we see her, and it's like I have really cool people on my algorithm that I've tripped and fallen into, which thank you guys so much for that. Nyx, I need to write that down.
I believe they're all the same one. So all the goddesses of the night. Nyx is Lilith. She just is. Hades is hell. It is that avatar. It is that layer. It is that filter. So your triple goddess is the same triple goddess. It doesn't matter if she's the Morrigan or if she's here or if she's there. It's the same. We just see her through that hologram. It's whatever is there. It's the oneness of it. And I think Joseph Campbell back in the 80s, it seemed to be really controversial when he came out with the idea, but that really, really resonates. So when Nyx is there, why is Nyx different than Lilith? Where do they overlap? And then where are the outliers? So then like that's where I dive into. So if I'm looking at Mars and I'm looking at the different layers, then where do they not overlap? That's the message, the lesson, the whatever.
Freaking Krista. One day you will be a deity, and I can't wait for my family in the future. I love that. And Brielle asked a question. Does deity work need to be so rigid with offerings?
Absolutely not.
So you can't see this, but Jenny's shaking her head crazy. She's like, no. Glenda said, I like that way of thinking of it. Tate says, wow. Nikki G, hello, gorgeous. Yeah, Tate saying no too. I really, you know what? How many of us really just know that Tate wishes she was right here, right now in this discussion? She loves goddesses. Do we want to just send her like a?
Let's see, jump on, bestie. Let's go.
No, babe, come on, Tate, like, hello. Thanks, Nikki. I'm glad you're here. Even everyone in the chat's going, do it.
We're ready.
Come on, Tate. Come to the cool kids table.
Morgan says she's sending you the thing.
You can.
Yeah, Morgan
with
says
us.
she's on it. Also, I really want to go to freaking Morgan. First of all, she's like a crazy cat lady. Like, I'm a little sensitive to that comment. Back up. And then I meant it in a loving way, you turd. This is the stuff you guys don't see, is the chat from Morgan, which is why I'm always like, shut up, Morgan, which is why it ended up on the bingo card. I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not just mean to Morgan. Right? The bag of cats. Yes, Jenny.
So turns out we are crazy cat ladies, because if you think about it, the deities are just a bunch of cats that only want you to touch them when they want you to touch them. And I'm sorry, I don't like that treat today. You're going to have to toss something else out, or I'm going over here. We really are just crazy cat ladies.
I agree.
I love that.
So Sharon just jumped on to tell us all about our different idiosyncrasies, the things that we do. So say it again. I'm this. Yeah, I do that a lot. I do. No, Kaylee's this with straight hands. Straight hands. Like Zoltar. Like that. And what was Jenny? And Jenny does two fingers on the side. I've seen Carlene do this.
Yeah, when my mind is blown, I'm like, oh my gosh.
And Shirley just looks down and goes, huh, like she's rethinking her life choices.
I do this. It's the forehead. It's my forehead. It's like, get in there.
It is. I have them do that too.
You know what Tate would be right now?
Gone. She'd just be gone.
Oh, yeah. She's
Out of the screen.
walking by, shaking her head. I love when she does that. Oh, so Morgan just pinned a comment on freaking TikTok. At Tate, get on it. I just went through the effort to send you the link in Discord. Oh, name and shame. Name and shame. All in one. Poor Tate's like, dude, I can't. I can text you guys. Like, I really can't. Like, too fucking bad. We don't care about your boundaries. Yet we sit here going, boundaries are so important.
Except yours right now. Get on.
Yeah, except yours. When we say, when the panel sets, the panel sets. The goddesses in human skin have spoken.
So Andrea and I had an origin session a couple days ago, and it turned out to be like cosmic goddess energy, and the image and the feeling hasn't left. Like you said, like it's this really weird, it hasn't left, and I can sort of feel it permeating inside out. Like it's not all the way out to my skin yet, but it's going in there and just it's really interesting. So my question is, why? So you said you're drawn to feminine deities.
Mm-hmm.
I am drawn to masculine deities. So if the shift is happening, then is there something to gather or something? Yay, there she is.
Yay! Woohoo! I love how I am here. Chris said, "Cat ladies of TikTok spoketh."
That goes on a shirt.
Wait, I'm not crazy.
It's very background. Look at that.
Bullying worked, yeah.
Yay! I love how Morgan just said bullying worked. We're not advocating that at all, though. Just saying.
No, we are not. Absolutely not. I don't know how to work this on the phone, so okay.
You're doing great so far. Goddesses. Who are you?
Yes.
Called? Who are you called toward?
Me? All of them? No, mainly it depends. Like sometimes Aphrodite, Athena, Artemis, Aphrodite comes in there. Guest goddesses come in there. Hecate here, Demeter behind me. Yeah, they come into certain places. Like I love them very much. That's yeah, I do.
We have Charity and I have in-depth conversations every single day. We text through the day, and we talk about goddesses,
Yeah,
quite here and there, because she sees certain people as goddesses, and now here
I
we are
do.
talking about it, and I'm like, oh, that's clicking for me now.
Yeah.
I was today years old when that conversation came around full circle. It's
Can
fine.
you expand on seeing certain people as goddesses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my I'm intrigued face.
Yeah, I guess yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I can handle this. I can handle it. All right, so all right, take the Morgan. I'm gonna throw the Morgan out there then. She gives me like she reminds me and resembles like a lot, like a whole lot, like almost like a similar feel, but not the same. Like I know the difference, but it's a feel like that. And then Andrea, like a lot of times, is like Aphrodite will come in like that. A lot of them come in like that. it just depends on who it is and what I'm talking to them about and how I see them. So like I see them as bits and pieces of like goddesses. Sometimes. Kaylee, like I got her, like when I see her though, it's not really like a goddess thing. It's more like a light thing, like a supernova. So, but it's still like a bit of a goddess thing, like that feel to it, like that light feel of a goddess. But I don't see her as like a formed goddess, if that makes sense. And Jenny's like straight up out of the woods, like, God, I wish you could see what I see.
I
Like
got
you are
goosebumps.
made of, like, it's almost like you blend in and you just step out, like just, I don't know which one that is. I don't know what goddess, what pulls from that, but it's really intense. So, and then Carlene, I'm not quite sure like where yours is just yet. I can't quite pinpoint it, but you pull toward like a witchy goddess, like I can't pin yours yet. I don't know, but but the more I get to know you, like the more I start to see, like and see what you resemble and see what you look like and which one you favor and which one you take attributes from. And like part of your character like comes from that and part of your power comes from that, and I see a lot of that, if you want me to be honest.
Fucking love this.
Me
Fucking
too.
love
I
this
love it
so much.
too. And it goes back to what we were just talking about too.
But it's not just goddesses, it's also like Spencer. I kept calling him Trickster for a very long time, and then like I kept thinking of Loki with him, and then he said something about Loki, and I was like, look at you, Trickster. So it's like I see an essence of the gods and the goddesses and the people that I meet and talk to, and the more I talk to you, the more it gets defined and refined, and I start to see more and more pieces of the spark.
That's super cool. See? Do you see it? Oh,
So then can I spin this on its head? Since since a lot of the deity stuff has been just stories passed down, right? That have formed them based on different people and everything. Um, Crap, I forgot where I was going with it.
damn
Oh, my
it.
thoughts. Okay. Um, but basically flipping it on its head, like how many of them were actually like this from the beginning, or how much of it is actual human attributes that we've infused into them.
I feel like that's some majority
It's a, it's a
human
lot.
infused attributes, and anything more has been lost through history. I feel like the more of their personality that are just more than what we put them as or what we attribute to them, has that information has been lost in history, I feel like.
Yes. Like
That's why
Hell was to me, she felt so comforting to me. She felt motherly almost. Like, it's okay. They're there. Like, and so like everything about her and her personality was just completely thrown to the wind because she looked different, or well, correction, she appeared to people differently than she would have normally. So people were like, oh my God, she's crazy. And then it's the humans' ultimate fear of the beyond, what's past life. And they put that on her as if she were punishing them for ending their life cycle before they began another.
Ooh. Because a lot of the moral stories of these deities are the consequences of our actions. So you can't just go jumping off cliffs without so yeah, we're going to be scared of the scales because did we don't like the consequences.
And we're not entirely sure if we did actually do good things in life. Like, it's the ultimate test, and we all hate tests. Well, I mean, not all of us, but most of us get squeamish with tests. It's the
unknown.
Yeah.
I definitely get performance anxiety even today. People say that to me all the time. They're like, "Oh, but not for you." And I'm like, "Are you shitting me? I'm scared to death all the time. I just do it anyhow."
I cut Charity off. I'm sorry. What were you going to say, Charity?
No, I don't know. I was listening to you, and then my phone's cut out for like the last few minutes, so I missed the tail end of what you were even talking about, Kaylee. So I am kind of lost. No, I don't know what you were talking about.
I was talking about hell and the Norse
Perception.
hell. Yeah.
The perception. That's why, like, when people bring up gods and goddesses, I'm like, as soon as just asking them, say, show me who you really are. Just show me. That's why I tell Sterling just to ask, just show me who you really are, and like you will not regret it. I promise. In my
Speaking
experience,
of
that's all I can
that-
say.
When you
Speaking
said
of that,
okay.
Oh.
Jinx.
When you said that, show me who you really are, it was it was like a wave, but it wasn't goosebumps. It was like a like a
Like a yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's like fog unfolding.
Okay. I'm sorry, Carlene. I'm just cutting people off. Just
we do it to each other, to be fair. But so when I was kind of like really digging in with Apollo, and it was also at the same time that I started with my Get focus session and all of that stuff. So I was like diving in with everything. And I was having a talk with Apollo, and I asked him, because I was still trying to figure everything out, you know, and I was like, can you show me what your energy feels like versus another deity or another being? That way I know for sure when it's you versus somebody else. And then I was like immersed in a scene of like, you're on a road trip, the windows are down, your hair's blowing in the wind, your favorite song's playing, you got your sunshades on, it's nice and warm and joyous and just chilling, just having a good day. He was like, that feeling, that's it. And I was like, cool. Thanks.
Ask him to be specific. Like whenever Aphrodite walks in, I kid you not, I'll say, you want to dance? I know for a fact it's her if I'm prone to say it. Like right then, I know who it is. That's it. Like I know it. Be specific. Go do that. Or they have in my case. That's all I'm going to tell you. Like, and I don't know anything. I just start asking stuff and saying stuff and looking at it and just letting it be and saying, what is it really? You know?
How does fear block that? How would fear block that? How would fear distort the image?
How would it not do that? Honestly, I mean, like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, how would fear not block it? Fear distorts everything into something we're afraid of. It pulls on our deepest, darkest. Like, okay, so I'm part of this Appalachian Witch group on Facebook. And someone actually posted today. They were like, there's this entity or elemental that won't go away no matter what I've done. I've tried salting, I've tried doing this and that and the other thing. And she's going on the list of everything she's tried. And then she's like, it's dark. It shows me like really misty, like very like melty into the floor. It's terrifying. And then she goes on to say, I'm not afraid of it. Like it's never given me a reason to be afraid.
What'd you post in Discord?
Feel
What did you just post in Discord? Shit, my mic's still on. Sorry.
It's still on and it's still on and it's still on. This is the best.
God,
Holy shit. What did you just post in Discord? Oh, you gotta join the Discord to find out. Oh well. Okay.
Be nice.
I don't know where I was at. I'm done.
I'm so sorry.
Oh. So yes, back in Discord. So and she also was saying like it's never hurt me. It's never caused me to actually fear. I'm just afraid of it. And she's like, what do I do? And one of the things I said is very similar to what Charity just said. When I'm afraid of something, which let's just be honest, I'm not. I just said it to help her feel better about herself. And I was like, I tend to ask spirit to show me what it looks like through their eyes. What does it look like through spirit's eyes? How do they perceive this thing? or being or entity. And honestly, more times than not, they're like, what? That's just Joe. They're like, that guy? That's fucking Dave from accounting. Like, what are we worried about Dave from accounting?
He just was trying to get some sunlight.
That's the thing. I'm not even like, I say that all the time. And it cracks me up every time that I'm like, can you show me what they look like through their eyes? This is how I knew. Like, this is why I'm not afraid of shit anymore, because I'm fucking Dave from accounting. I'm like, okay.
Kevin.
Yes, my dad's name is Kevin. And do you know how much? So, like, my dad is this big, tough Marine, right? And now everybody's calling Kevin like this wimpy name, and he's like, son of a bitch. He's just like, this is stupid. I'm like, I know. I feel for all the Karens in the world. Every one of them. Like, Karens and Kevins.
So to follow that up, the reason I asked the question is if you ask the question and it's scary, check the fear. Check the fear first. And keep asking questions.
My mom is on TikTok. Sorry, my mom just goes, poor dad.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Said hi to my mama. You guys are so cute. Everyone's going, hey, Mom, now. I know, my poor dad. He doesn't have a chance in hell. He's just surrounded by spirituality. Poor man does not want to be. He just wants to have his Bud Light and swim in his pool, work on his house. Like, my poor dad. All right, I'm so sorry, Jenny. I interrupted you. I'm so sorry.
That was
I just got excited. I got really excited to see my mom.
Love it. No, that was it. If there's fear, if you ask the question and you receive something that is frightening, check the fear first, and then ask the questions maybe around that to yourself, to your spirit team, and then ask the questions again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jenny, earlier you were asking about like how you're more drawn to the masculine deities versus kind of seems like a lot of other people are more towards the feminine right now. Question for you to ponder. I would be wondering, like, why are you specifically drawn to the like, what can you learn from that aspect right now?
Yeah.
Because to me, it kind of feels like these different deities come in phases almost. Like, as you need to learn something from them or as they can help you with something, they'll come up and then they kind of just be like, all right, I'm done. Bye. Like Apollo's the only one that freaking hangs around. He's like, what's up? What are we doing today? And I'm like, we're working today. We're not doing anything exciting.
Up the shovel.
So like my feminine is it's I have a lot of it. So my vessel is full of feminine. So for me, the balance would be to add that masculine, add that boundaries, add that saying no, add that fire, force, follow through type of a thing. So it definitely, it's something that, okay, guys, where are we here?
Oh no.
What did I miss? Everybody's like hiding their laugh faces.
I'm trying really hard not to, because Sharon just held up to her camera, and you can't see this because she's a producer role. But if you look at Sharon's camera, that's a whole ass video of Charity just pacing. Just pacing and pacing and pacing. I'm worried for Terry. Is Terry okay? Terry, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?
We don't hear from you in 10 minutes.
We're all going to get channels in that go, yeah, no, I'm fine. Thanks.
No.
SOS. Yeah, but I completely agree with yeah, they do come in phases, and yeah, I have both. I don't know if they're gods and goddesses leaning more towards masculine and feminine, but yeah, I have both sexes. So I feel like it depends on where you are in life that a specific deity appears to help you. work
Yeah,
through.
kind of like your entourage. Would they be considered your entourage at that point?
Mine are.
Part of your entourage?
Yeah, I consider them as such.
I would
So did
say
you see
so,
Terry's
yeah.
response, by the way? Terry said, "I'm good," with 2 exclamation points. What's she gonna do? Ma'am, you might be too comfortable in your relationship. I'm just here for you.
You are several hours away from home.
I'm saying she's gonna be flying back.
Spirit, broomstick, car, we're not really sure.
So Tate did accidentally booted from it, and she said she's insisting it isn't Terry related. So
So I want to go back to the supernova goddess energy.
Uh-huh.
I don't.
Alien.
Yeah, I'm trying to put that.
So it's the beginning of everything. It's the beginning of time and space and reality. It's that moment of explosion.
that which weaves
Could
us.
be. Yeah. So I don't know. Did you ever read Rick Royden, the Percy Jackson? I really feel like if that man isn't gifted and channeled every single one of those deities, I would lose $100 because I would bet $100 on that. And so he's right when they switch into their true form, it's this huge, like bright ball of light that will melt a human to ash if they look at it. That's when Charity said that. That's what I saw in it, the deity in its pure, unadulterated form.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in
But
love with.
I see like incredible colors.
Yes.
You are everything.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Like the depiction of the Rainbow Bridge in the Avengers.
Yeah, that's perfection of the holographic that I see. Almost, it's a little bright.
It is. It kind of almost was like. It's not. I can't see it, but it was kind of like.
Yeah.
Damn. I asked about it, and it said that which would. Why can't I say that out fucking loud? That which weaves us together is what I got.
That which weaves us together.
Like talking about like the fabric of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
And all it is are
Threads of fate.
The light.
The light of the universe. I love her Kaylee channeling face.
Oh, me too. It's so deeply in concentration. It's so freaking cute. Not gonna lie, the Libras in me is like, wish I was that pretty when I channeled, because I'm such a fucking princess. I'm having a princess day. I'm having a whole ass princess day, and it's not a good look on me. But I've been doing it all freaking day. Let's look at Sharon's face. I'm just blocking out Sharon on the screen because I don't want to see her face. Like,
I can't tell exactly what direction that Sharon's face is going, but
I know that face. It means I'm in trouble. I know that face. That means I'm going to get in trouble. That the second we're done in like 30 seconds, because we have hit an hour, believe it or not. That went way too fast.
it did.
So we'll shut off TikTok for after dark so that we can say, oh, she's typing. Shit. She's got the. Oh,
So-
there it is. I told you I'm in trouble. The fuck, Andrea? I don't know.
Sharon's
I don't know.
hand.
I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell my spirit guides when they're like, what are you doing? I don't know. I have just no idea.
fucking winging it here.
We're winging it out here. I'm your responsibility. If
You took all my
you
memories
don't know
away.
Like, if you don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what to do to help you. I really don't. I'm apparently a goddess in human skin, but multiple goddesses, which, by the way, I am super drawn to Nyx. But, like, I'm like when I go home tonight, we're going to have a conversation. Like, we're going to sit down. She's like, yeah, anytime, babes. I'm like, oh, she comes up that quick. I'm here for it.
I think you need to look at her for your witchcraft stuff versus Hecate.
That is probably why Hecate hasn't come up for me at all. I've just been pulling from cosmos because I'm more celestial and I'm more air oriented than I am definitely way more than earth, more than fire, more than water. Like my order of operations is definitely air and cosmos mixed together. And then
They're
fire, then water, then earth.
That's so funny because mine isn't
gonna be doing rituals at night.
What?
Go,
I'm
Carly.
sorry. I talked over Jimmy. They were just showing me like you doing rituals at night with
Yeah.
Nyx.
That is also my time. That is definitely my time. Thank you, by the way, dear listeners of Sweet Release Healing Roundtable. We have appreciated you through the weeks, through the months, and we cannot believe that I think we have almost hit 1,000 plays, which is amazing. It is gaining speed, like really gaining speed the last few weeks, which is just amazingly insane. And I am so appreciative for every single one of you. Super special thanks to Sharon for keeping me corralled and being an amazing producer, as well as Morgan, our wonderful The Morgan, who does everything techie. If you like my website, you can thank her. She does an amazing job for me. I don't know how she does it. She tries to talk me through it, and I'm like, do you have time? Also, thank you so much to Jenny for your sage wisdom, Carlene for your wonderful dialing in, Kaylee for everything, Shirley for your poignant viewpoint, and Charity, fucking amazing. Love you. Thank you all so much for listening to the Sweet Release Healing Roundtable. You can catch the Sweet Release Healing After Dark soon, where we drop all our filters and get super real. Thanks again. Bye.